Another fight that would sell and it would be huge, it would be that. It would be Diaz 3.
Oh, yeah.
That could be, especially if Diaz gets past Poirier.
Yes.
Even if he doesn't. I mean, just that fight alone. I mean, there's the history between those two guys. I mean, that would be...
And it's so appealing stylistically as well, the fight, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grappler at heart. I love grappling. But I also understand that a jiu-jitsu tournament will put people to sleep, you know. Even if you're into jiu-jitsu, it's hard to watch a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yes.
But anybody can see a punch hitting someone in the head and them falling down. That's, you know, that's exciting. And him and Diaz is such a great personality matchup. It's such a great skill clash. You know, if I was to design somebody that's going to bring the best out of Conor, you'd want someone that, you know, can hit back and take a big shot and put up at the trash. It's a beautiful fight. I would love to see that rematch.
Yeah, the thing about Diaz when they first fought was that he didn't give a fuck about trash talk. It didn't bother him.
I'm planning on going back to UFC.
You do?
If they'll have me, I would like to go back and fucking whoop someone's ass there.
Well, who would you want to, if it was offered? Justin Gaethje, sounds like.
I'm not fighting at 55 though, but right now I'm not fighting in there because there's nobody to fight really. It's kind of slow rolling.
I feel like UFC would.
I don't really have a name in mind right now in the UFC. That's why I'm not there right now. Otherwise,
but the name, the draw, the excitement that you would bring to it, I feel like it's really lacking in UFC. Everybody's
that's
rushing, everybody's
I would
wrestling.
be there if there was somebody that I wanted to go fight.
I want to see the rubber match with Conor McGregor.
With time for sure. Yeah, whenever he's back. Me and him for sure got unfinished.
So researchers are now showing powerful evidence that social media is not just influencing habits on the surface. It is actively reshaping how the human brain functions. And this is not some loose theory or abstract psychological guess. Scientists have actually measured dopamine receptors, the structures inside the brain responsible for processing pleasure, motivation, and reward signals. And they've identified clear, measurable links between receptor activity and the amount of time people spend scrolling through social platforms.
Conor McGregor is being talked to headline the White House card. I don't buy it. I can't buy it. Why are we would be turning to Conor McGregor? And the answer is also out there because he is the sport's biggest star. That is true. So is that what you need? If you've got the open checkbook and you've got the magic wand, without saying names, do you say, I'm going to put as my main event the sport's biggest star? Is that your answer? Doesn't matter who he's fighting. What if it's a championship match? You have an open checkbook and you have a magic wand and you don't use any names, but you're going to put the championship on. Would you say heavyweight? Would you say women's 135? Would you say wherever Kazmat Chimaev's at? Like, how is it that you would answer that question? And then what if you're really going to go for a big fight? What if you really follow this for a long time and you're going to do what we used to call a super fight, but now we call it title versus title? You're going to take the...
In simple terms, the more a person chases notifications, likes, and endless content refreshes, the more the brain begins adapting to that reward loop. This is real neurological research, not speculation or internet theory. Now shifting into the fight world, let's really look at how brutally direct Nate Diaz has been about this whole situation. There was zero hesitation from him, no vague answers, no dodging questions. When the White House card idea started circulating and people were debating possible opponents, Conor McGregor was, without any debate, the only name that truly locked onto Diaz's focus. There was no dramatic sales pitch, no promotional fluff, no complicated negotiation talk. Just a cold, blunt reality. If the opponent isn't McGregor, then nothing else really matters to him. Diaz has basically already signaled that he's ready.
Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE. So
right.
At least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch. And I'm looking forward to that fight, actually.
Now, fans want it.
Devontae and Paul should be good. And then, because what else are you looking forward to? Hurry up?
Nothing.
Hurry up? What else?
If it's not you, McGregor, Ryan, it's nobody.
No, it's good. It's good.
Now, fans want you versus McGregor 3. Do you want that fight?
Yeah, for sure.
White House?
Yeah, what time?
Fans are loudly demanding it, and the long-awaited third chapter of their rivalry no longer feels like a distant fantasy. It feels like it's sitting just beneath the surface, quietly waiting for the perfect moment to explode. There's no need for drawn-out approval processes or complicated agreement structures for the idea itself. Everyone already understands why this fight carries so much history and emotional weight. That said, the idea isn't completely guaranteed either. Dana White stepped in and noticeably cooled down the immediate Trilogy hype. He pointed toward time as the single biggest unpredictable factor in this sport. And realistically, he has a strong point. One single year inside mixed martial arts can completely change everything. Champions lose belts, contenders rise fast, injuries happen, and divisions evolve. This becomes even more relevant when you consider McGregor has only hinted at a return rather than officially confirming anything. Meanwhile, Diaz has shown strong interest, but interest alone doesn't finalize fights. White emphasized that certainty right now means very little. The entire structure of the Ultimate Fighting Championship can shift quickly. Fight cards change, title pictures evolve, and business priorities move. By the time the next July 4th period arrives, the sport could look totally different.
McGregor said he's back in the pool. Diaz said he would love to be the opponent. Are you interested in that trilogy?
That fight's a year away. Landscape will change so much by next 4th of July. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to be on the card? What the main event will be, or who will hold all the titles? Everything could be completely different. So it's not even worth thinking about it.
So to be clear, McGregor versus Diaz III is not dead, but it also isn't close to being officially signed and announced yet. On the opposite end of that cautious viewpoint, Michael Bisping took a much bigger picture approach. For him, there's no hesitation. If Diaz returns to the octagon and McGregor comes back to active competition, then that is the fight to make every single time. Their rivalry already sits among the biggest and most iconic in UFC history. If you place a fight of that size on a historically symbolic White House-style event, it wouldn't just headline the show, it would define the entire event's identity, especially if it sits alongside other blockbuster fights near the top of the card. Bisping's logic goes deeper than simple promotion. He believes even if McGregor doesn't technically need another fight for legacy or money, the competitive fire inside elite fighters never fully disappears. That inner hunger, the desire for one more defining moment, one more signature win, is powerful enough to make McGregor's involvement in a historic card feel almost inevitable. Bisping then expanded the conversation beyond rivalries and into true superfight territory. When talking about once-in-a-generation matchups capable of shaking the entire sport, he pointed directly toward Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira as the one fight that could overshadow everything else currently being discussed.
Was to come back. But if he was, and if Conor McGregor does actually make it back, I think that's the fight to make all day long. The one-on-one, there were some of the biggest fights in UFC history. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor at the White House would be absolutely insane. It probably will have Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones in the main event. It probably will have Conor McGregor versus someone, Michael Chandler or Nate Diaz, in the co-main event. So that just kind of sets the tone for how big that card would be. What do you think? Do you think Conor McGregor will actually make it back? Of course, he hasn't fought since 2021, right? It's going to be 5 years since he last fought. I, for one, fair play to the guy. Fair play, man. Respect. He doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to come back. He's got lots of other avenues and ways to make money, but fighting is something that never leaves you, okay? It's a part of who you are. It's in your DNA. It's part of your soul. And he wants to come back and he wants to get his hands raised in victory. Of course, he wants to come back.
Pereira's rapid rise through elite competition, his global star presence, and what he has already accomplished across multiple divisions makes the idea of facing Jones feel almost unreal, like something from a high-level combat video game. The argument is simple. If Pereira somehow defeats someone with Jones' legacy and dominance, it wouldn't just be another win. It would permanently place Pereira into a level of greatness almost untouched in MMA history. At the same time, Bisping kept his analysis grounded in realism. He acknowledged that McGregor versus Michael Chandler still looks like the most expected official direction right now. But he also warned that once business politics, promotional strategy, and fighter relationships get involved, even the most carefully planned fights can suddenly shift direction without warning. So the major question still stands. Will Nate Diaz actually step back into the cage to face Conor McGregor one more time? Or is McGregor quietly preparing for a completely different opponent for his return? Make sure you share your thoughts and predictions, because one major announcement could instantly change everything in this story. And if you're following this situation closely, you already know this is far from over.